Yes, I request to Sakshi Singh. Please start the session because I can understand the busy schedule of Vice-Chancellor sir and also Professor Venkatachalam sir. So Sakshi, uh, uh, please start the session.
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sakshi Singh, research scholar from Banaras Hindu University. Thank you all for joining us for this session. Today, we are here to validate and celebrate the insights we are gathered in this workshop. Over the past days of workshop, we have explored a wide range of topics in SPSS workshop. We have had insightful discussions, hands-on activities, and invaluable contributions from our guest speakers of the session and participants. I would like to take a moment of thanks to our incredible team of organizers and our inspiring speakers, and of course, all of the participants. Your enthusiasm and engagement have made this experience truly memorable. And today, uh, we are here for the valedictory session of this workshop, and we have a chief guest for this session, Professor SachchidaNand Shukla sir, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Pandit Ravishankar Shukla University, Raipur, Chhattisgarh. And we have a guest of honor, Professor Himanshu Chaturvedi sir, ex-head, Department of History, Deen Dayal Upadhyaya, Gorakhpur University. And we have Professor L. Venkatachalam sir, RBI Chair, Madras Institute of Development Studies. And for Presidential Address, Professor Parmendra Kumar sir, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, Prakash University, Chhapra, Bihar. So now I would like to call Vikash Kumar, research scholar from Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, Amarkantak, for welcome address. Over to you, Vikash sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, uh, Sakshi Singh ji. Uh, First of all, I would like to uh, uh, give my heartful thanks, and I want to also express the welcome in the part of my heart to Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor परमेंद्र कुमार वाजपेयी सर। एंड मुझे वो मोमेंट याद है कि जब मैंने सर को कॉल किया था कि सर हम लोग वी आर गोइंग टू ऑर्गेनाइज 10 days वर्कशॉप ऑन द एसपीएसएस। सो सर ने बहुत ही अप्रिशिएट किया हमें और उन्होंने कहा कि आई विल ट्राई टू ज्वाइन द बोथ सेशन, इनॉग्रल सेशन एंड इन द वैलेडिक्टरी सेशन। तो मेरी कोशिश रहेगी मैं ज्वाइन करूंगा, लेकिन नेक्स्ट सेशन में मैं कंफर्म है कि आई विल ज्वाइन द सेशन। So sir, thank you so much for your appreciation sir, and मैं अपने एसोसिएशन की ओर से और सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स की ओर से मैं आपका स्वागत करता हूं कि आपने अपना अमूल्य समय हमको दिया और हमें आशीर्वाद देने के लिए इस सेशन में आप उपस्थित हुए हैं। I would like to welcome to the Professor Himanshu Chaturvedi sir, head of the department history at the Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyaya University Gorakhpur, and also a member of the Indian Council of Historical Research. I would like to welcome to Professor L. Venkatachalam sir. Sir is a professor and RBI chair professor, and also the managing editor of the review and development. I would like to welcome to Professor SachchidaNand Shukla sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor Pandit Ravishankar Shukla University, Raipur, Chhattisgarh. And I would like to also welcome the all participants who have joined this session and also selected for this SPSS workshop. चूंकि मैं ज़्यादा समय नहीं लूँगा, एक ही सेंटेंस बोलूँगा कि सर हमने इसमें 3 दिनों के अंतर्गत इस वर्कशॉप के लिए कुल 600 रजिस्ट्रेशन हम लोगों ने रिसीव किए, जिसमें कि हमने 100 पार्टिसिपेंट्स को पूरे कंट्री से, पूरे स्टेट से और यूनिवर्सिटीज से हमने इसमें शॉर्ट लिस्टेड किया और मुझे बताते हुए बहुत खुशी हो रही कि सर जयप्रकाश यूनिवर्सिटी छपरा के भी 3 पार्टिसिपेंट्स हमने इसमें सेलेक्टेड किए हैं, जो एक पॉलिटिकल साइंस के हैं, फाइनेंस मैनेजमेंट के हैं। तो ये सब उन पार्टिसिपेंट्स के लिए भी खुशी की बात है और हमारे लिए कि सर आप यहाँ पर उपस्थित हुए हैं। सो आई विल नॉट टेक मच एंड मोर टाइम। आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट टू अंकिता शुक्ला फॉर द इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ द ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर सर। ओवर टू यू अंकिता।
Thank you, Vikas sir.
I could not hear you properly.
तो
Sorry.
अंकिता जी आपकी वॉइस
आज
क्लियर
के
नहीं
इस
आ रही है।
वैलिडेटरी सेक्शन में आए सभी आई अंकिता शुक्ला, रिसर्च स्कॉलर ऑफ respected sir, has completed. Sir, now it is. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes. Now what?
Actually, I'm in Kerala. So in Kerala, due to the flood, then there is little bit network issue.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Professor Parmendra Kumar Bajpai sir has completed his MSc PhD and postdoctoral study from IIT Kanpur. He is currently serving as the Vice-Chancellor of Jayaprakash Vishwavidyalaya, Rahul Sankrityayan University in Chhapra, Bihar. Previously, Professor Bajpai sir worked as a lecturer in the Department of Physics and as a faculty members, first in the Institute of Self-Organizing System and Biophysics, and later in the Department of Physics at the Northern Eastern Hill University. There he was involving in teaching, research and development activities. Professor Bajpai sir has also served as the head and faculty member in the Department of Pure and Applied Physics at Guru Ghasidas Vishwavidyalaya. His research contributions are significant, with more than 176 publications in national and international journals, accumulating 1576 citations. So, अंततः गुरु जी से मैं प्रार्थना करती हूँ, कृपया वो अपने ज्ञान से हम सबको परिपूर्ण करने की कृपा करें। धन्यवाद।
Over to you, Guruji.
Thank you, Ankita. I would like to thank the organizers, especially विकास जी, अंकिता जी जो अभी मेरा परिचय दे रहे थे, और आपके एसोसिएशन के सभी पदाधिकारीगण। मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
जी सर, जी सर।
मेरी आवाज आ रही है नहीं?
हाँ, आ रही है।
Hello, Vikas.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
It's a real pleasant moment for all of us. Research Scholar Association have conducted this beautiful activity, training on SSPS. शोध प्रविधि या रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी जैसा हम सब जानते हैं, शोध छात्रों के लिए एक आवश्यक तत्व तो है ही, लेकिन इतना बेहतर तरीके से हम रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी के जो विभिन्न डायमेंशंस हैं, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द research problem, research questions, creating hypothesis, designing the research, choosing the correct kind of methodology, and mostly data analysis and inference from the data. This becomes the core activity of any research scholar. And the meaningful inferences about a problem are often obtained by having command over the data analysis. SSPS is one of the software that provides complete solution for qualitative and quantitative data. And therefore, I'm really glad, मुझे खुशी है कि आप लोगों ने ये जो वर्कशॉप आयोजित किया है, ये जो कार्यशाला आयोजित की है, अभी जैसा शुरुआत में मुझे एंकर बता रही थी कि न आपने कार्यशालाओं में एक्सपर्ट्स के लेक्चर ऑर्गेनाइज किए बल्कि हैंड्स ऑन एक्टिविटीज रखी हैं। एक व्यवहारिक ज्ञान स्वयं करके देखना, स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम द डिस्क्रिप्टिव स्टैटिस्टिक्स, डाटा सिस्टमैटाइजेशन, डाटा प्रोसेसिंग एंड गोइंग टुवर्ड्स द क्वांटिटेटिव स्टैटिस्टिक्स, चाहे वो कंपैरिजन हो, चाहे स्टूडेंट प्री टेस्ट हो, चाहे और बहुत सारी जो कंपैरेटिव स्टैटिस्टिक्स की विधियां हैं, एंड बियॉन्ड दैट using the AI based data analysis, this is one of the primary requirement for a good thesis, especially in the field of humanities and social science. If you are having the expertise on SSPS, if you know the theoretical and other frameworks that are required for designing the theoretical framework of the thesis, then the topic on which you are researching, it becomes acceptable, validated, and you get a recognition in the academic field. And from this point of view, I think this workshop is very, very important. And I'm sure that the participants who have attended this workshop in a huge number, they must have benefited by understanding the basic dimensions of SSPS and how to utilize in their problem the various aspects of SSPS, and this will create a new confidence among the participants. ये तो एक एकेडमिक पार्ट हो गया इस वर्कशॉप का। मुझे लगता है जो शोध है और शोध की जो पूरी परिकल्पना है, अगर उसको हम भारतीय दृष्टिकोण से देखते हैं तो ये व्यक्ति के पूरे जीवन भर चलती है। ये हमारी जीवन पद्धति का अंग है। शोध कोई 4 साल करने वाला कृत्य नहीं है कि जिसमें आप कुछ मेथोडोलॉजी सीख के किसी टॉपिक पर कुछ डाटा लेकर कुछ इन्फेरेंसेस निकालते हैं और उसके आधार पर आपको पीएचडी या डीएससी या डीलेट इस तरह की डिग्री अवार्ड हो जाती है। ये उससे कहीं बड़ी चीज। और मुझे लगता है हर एक शोधार्थी को जो शोध में अपने आप को पाता है, उसमें कुछ निश्चित गुण, कुछ निश्चित कारक होना चाहिए। और सबसे बड़ा कारक है कि हम शोध क्यों कर रहे हैं। एसएसपीएस एक टूल हो सकता है आपके शोध के लिए, लेकिन अगर आप ये जान जाएंगे कि आप शोध क्यों कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि आप अपने जीवन में सत्य का अनुशीलन करना चाहते हैं। प्रत्येक शोधार्थी को बायस्ड नहीं होना पड़ता है, अनबायस्ड होना पड़ता है। उसकी दृष्टि जो है निरपेक्ष होना होती है। वो सिर्फ सत्य को देखता है। अपने टॉपिक के पक्ष या विपक्ष में उसको जो भी इन्फेरेंसेस मिल रहे हैं, जो भी एविडेंसेस मिलती हैं, उनको बिल्कुल तार्किक रूप से, विशुद्ध रूप से, एक न्यूट्रल दृष्टि रखते हुए जब वो चीज़ों को देखता है तो उसके जीवन में, उसकी दृष्टि में, उसके व्यवहार में, उसके आचरण में वो दृष्टि आ जाती है। और अपने जीवन में आप पूरी जिंदगी भर लाइफ लॉन्ग अगर इस दृष्टि को रखे रहते हैं तो मुझे लगता है ये सबसे बड़ी सार्थकता शोध की होती है। और इसीलिए राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 ने इस बात पर बल दिया है कि शोध सिर्फ डिग्री के लिए ना किया जाए, शोध को शिक्षण अधिगम का एक अभिन्न अंग बनाया जाए। आपकी दृष्टि शोध की हो, आपका जीवन शोधमय हो। और शोध के लिए जो भारतीय दृष्टि है उसमें है कि आप अलग अलग तरह से मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी लेवल से जब चीज़ों को देखते हैं तो आपको चीज़ों के अलग अलग डायमेंशंस के बारे में पता चलता है। आपका दृष्टिकोण बृहद होता है। आप विविधता का सम्मान सीखते हैं, आप नए नए विचारों को अनुभद्रा अलग अलग जगह से जो बातें आती हैं उनको विवेकशील तरीके से विवेचना करना सीखते हैं। अलग अलग विषयों में जो जानकारी आती है उनको एक साथ रख के उनसे उनका संश्लेषण करना सीखते हैं, सिंथेसिस सीखते हैं और विषयों के बारे में एक विहंगम दृष्टि, एक रोड मैप आपको आ जाता है, जिसके कारण से जब समाज में, जब व्यक्तिगत जिंदगी में या जब राष्ट्र के सामने चुनौतियां आती हैं तो उन चुनौतियों का सामना करने के लिए आप अपने आप को सक्षम पाते हैं, आप अपने आप को आत्मविश्वास से लवरेज पाते हैं और यही शोध की दृष्टि है, यही शोध का बड़ा उद्देश्य है। इस शोध को डिसेमिनेट करने के लिए हमको इसको कभी रिसर्च पेपर्स के माध्यम से, कभी थीसिस के माध्यम से, कभी मोनोग्राफ्स के माध्यम से, कभी रेफरेंस मटेरियल्स के माध्यम से अपने साथी रिसर्चर्स की दृष्टि में इसको लाना होता है और इसमें मौलिकता रहे, इसमें अनावश्यक रूप से प्लेगरिज्म ना हो, इसमें दूसरे की कही बातों का क्रेडिट लेने की कोशिश हम ना करें। ये जो एथिकल प्रश्न हैं यह भी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हो जाते हैं और इस दृष्टि से डाटा का एनालिसिस, डाटा की प्रोसेसिंग, डाटा को जो हम जिसको कहते हैं कि रॉन्ग डाटा का एक्सक्लूजन करते हैं, उसमें बहुत केयरफुल होना पड़ता है। अपनी बात को सिद्ध करने के लिए हम एक्सक्लूड ना करें डाटा को, डाटा का सम्मान करते हुए हम कोई भी सॉफ्टवेयर यूज करें, चाहे वो SPSS हो, चाहे आजकल AI बेस्ड जो हमको गाइड करने के लिए बहुत सारी विधियां आ गई हैं, चाहे रेफरेंसिंग के लिए चैट GPT जैसी चीजें आ गई हैं, इन सब को प्रयोग करते समय हम सावधानी रखें। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल जब स्टूडेंट टेस्ट लगाते हैं हम तो सिग्निफिकेंट लिमिट तय करते हैं और सिग्निफिकेंट लिमिट में जो भी चीज आती है उसको आप सत्य मान लेते हैं, हाइपोथेसिस को या तो सपोर्ट कर देते हैं या हाइपोथेसिस को नेगेट कर देते हैं। लेकिन जब समस्या की व्याप्ति की बात होती है तो इसमें हम ध्यान रखें कि सिग्निफिकेंट लिमिट तय करते समय उसकी लिमिटेशन, उसकी डिलिमिटेशन, उसका डोमेन, रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस के जो हमने सेट किए हैं उसके लिए डिजाइन, उसके लिए जो हमने मेथडोलॉजी उपयोग की है, उन सब की भी लिमिटेशंस हैं। उनको देखते हुए सत्य तक पहुंचे और उस सत्य तक सिर्फ पहुंचे ही नहीं, दूसरे वातावरण में उन निष्कर्षों को हम प्रयोग करें और उन प्रयोगों को तब तक बढ़ाते जाएं जब तक एग्जिस्टिंग थ्योरेटिकल फ्रेमवर्क से या तो वो ओरिएंट नहीं कर जाता है, डिस्टॉर्ट नहीं कर जाता है या उसका पूरी तरह से सपोर्ट नहीं करता। तो रिसर्च में SSPS का जो आपने उपयोग इस कार्यशाला के माध्यम से करना सीखा, मुझे लगता है अपने रिसर्च डायमेंशंस को, अपने रिसर्च की गुणवत्ता को बढ़ाने में ये निश्चित रूप से उपयोगी होगा और इस कार्यशाला के माध्यम से आप अपने शोध को बेहतर करने में, आपके द्वारा जो प्रकाशित होने वाली सामग्री है उसकी क्वालिटी को ज़्यादा अच्छा करने में आप इसका उपयोग कर पाएंगे। और इसके साथ ही साथ जिन लोगों से आप भले ही संजाल माध्यम से मिले हैं, उस नेटवर्क को अपने जीवन में उपयोग करेंगे। नए मित्र जो आपने बनाए हैं, नए लोगों के साथ जो आपका विमर्श शुरू हुआ है, जो इंटरेक्शन हुआ है, उस इंटरेक्शन को अपने अकादमिक विकास के लिए बढ़ाएंगे, अपने आप को एक बेहतर शोधार्थी के रूप में आप प्रस्तुत कर पाएं और इस समाज का, इस देश का, विश्व की समस्याओं के प्रति आपका नजरिया ज्यादा सकारात्मक हो, आप शोध को अपने जीवन की दृष्टि बनाएं। ऐसी आशा और आकांक्षा के साथ आपने यहाँ बुलाया, मुझे 2 शब्द कहने का मौका दिया। आप सब लोगों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
सर ओवर टू यू साक्षी।
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for your insightful lecture for us, and we will definitely try to follow your instructions on research. Thank you, sir. And now I would like to invite L. Venkatachalam sir for the for his like speech for us.
Before this, Papi Haldar will be give the vote of वो sorry वो introduction of the Venkatachalam sir.
Yes, sir.
Papi, are you here?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm hearing. Hello, I'm audible.
Yes, yes. L. Venkatachalam sir, can you listen us? Professor Venkatachalam sir. Hello, Venkatachalam sir. Okay, Papi, please start. I'm called.
Okay. Very good evening, honorable chief guest of honor, respected professors, and all the participants present in this online session, which is organized by the Indian Research Scholar Association. I am Poppy Haldar, Research Scholar, Department of Commerce, University of Lucknow. Today, we have with us an eminent personality, Professor L. Venkatachalam, sir, and it's my proud privilege to introduce sir to this online session.
Now your turn, sir.
Now, Professor L. Venkatachalam, sir, is a RBI Chair Professor, Madras Institute of Development Studies, Chennai. Also, he was the Professor of Madras Institute of Development Studies, Chennai from 2015 to 2018. Sir has completed his PhD in Economics from University of Madras, MPhil in Economics from Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu, India, MA in Economics from Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu, India. Sir has so many academic awards, scholarships, fellowships. He has so many visiting faculty positions like visiting faculty of Indian Institute of Management, Amritasher, visiting faculty of Indian Institute of Management, Kozhikode, and visiting faculty of Madras School of Economics, Chennai, and so many. He has many work experiences, like he was the consultant of environmental economists on the World Bank assisted water resource consolidation project, research associated at Madras School of Economics, Chennai, consultants of environmental economics for the environmental economics component of the World Bank aided in India. And this very brief discussion of Sir. Sir has published many books, articles, chapters in edited books, working papers to his credit. So the area of research and teaching of Sir are environmental economics, behavioral economics, economic theory. So we are so pleased to have with us for this online session, sir. We are eagerly waiting for your speech. Now I request Professor L. Venkatachalam, sir, for his speech. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Ms. Poppy Haldar. Could you hear me? Could you hear me? Okay. Good afternoon to all of you. I'm very happy to be here to deliver this valedictory address as part of the workshop, 10 days workshop on SPSS conducted by the Indian Research Scholars Association of India. And I would like to thank Mr. Vikash for having organized this very important workshop on a very important topic. And he brought very good resource persons to deliver lectures on various aspects of research methodology in general and SPSS in particular. And I would like to congratulate him as well as his team. And I wish that this kind of tradition continues in the future also, benefiting the research society in India. Of course, as my previous speaker, Honorable Vice-Chancellor, rightly pointed out, this workshop would have benefited you tremendously in terms of acquiring knowledge on how to analyze data by using SPSS software, as well as various aspects of research methodology. And of course, this, by end of this workshop, I'm sure that all of you might have got substantial amount of knowledge about handling the data that you will be collecting for addressing your research issue. But what I'm going to do is to highlight some of the important points that the research scholars, young scholars, should keep in mind. First of all, we should understand one thing, namely the statistical tools like econometrics, regression, parametric, non-parametric tools, etc., that are being widely used for analyzing the data, quantitative data, collected. There are different sources of data that can be collected for research purpose, for testing or hypothesis, or more technically for falsification, because in social sciences, I'm sure that most of you are from social science research. In social sciences, it is basically the falsification that is the fundamental principle of doing research. What is falsification? It is nothing but formulating hypotheses or formulating theories and testing them in the field by using empirical data. So this is the kind of tradition that we follow in most of the social science disciplines, right? So theory testing, okay? But of course, in economics, for example, if you look at the tradition, namely how economics evolved over a period of time, right? So if you look at pre-classical, the physiocrats, mercantilists, physiocrats, and then classical school, Marxian school. So these are the schools where major economic ideas have originated. And if you very deeply look at the development of knowledge in the early stages of the discipline, economics, you may find that the economists or political economists have been using three things actually. One is the existing theory, second is logic, the third one is imagination, right? So theories, logic, and imagination. These three things played a major role in formulating theories actually. So for example, Adam Smith suggested that it is basically the invisible hand market forces which would expand the wealth of nations, and then how the wealth can be distributed across different entities, the landlords, the capitalists, and the laborers. Okay, so in the classical economics, we have three classes. Among these three classes, the wealth of nations could be distributed, right? So Ricardo suggested that the kind of wealth created will be, or the surplus created from the production will be adequately distributed to the landlords, because they will command rent for the indistinguishable powers of the soil actually. Okay? So the landlords could get adequate amount of rent from the surplus created, and the laborers could command more wage when prices of corn are increasing over a period of time. And then it is the capitalist who will be in trouble, because the capitalist may not be in a position to get more surplus, and therefore there will be a kind of stagnation in the economy over a period. So that was being predicted by Ricardo. And then Marx comes in and he reinterprets Ricardo's theory, namely how the the distribution of income surplus is favorable to landlords and capitalists, but not to the laborers. Okay, you see, what is happening here is that the conventional economists, they were not collecting data, they were not using SPSS, all those kinds of things. These are all recent developments actually. Okay, so they have used the existing theory. For example, Marx used the existing theory of Adam Smith about the labor theory of value and the distributional theory of Ricardo in order to reinterpret the theories to formulate his own kind of theories, namely exploitation, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is what is wanted. Over a period of time, what is missing in most of our research is theory. Indeed, as I said, it is the falsification which is a major principle that we follow in social science research. What is falsification? I said testing the theories. So you have to formulate the theories and test the theories. As I said, now this, so classical economists were very much into theory making, using logic, using imagination, and then came out with the innovative new theories. But then the early neoclassical economists like Jevons, Walras, Edgeworth, all these people, they developed models, okay? And Marshall, Pigou, all of them developed models. And then after 70s and 80s, many economists, they started using these models and theories in the field to test their validity and reliability and predictability actually, okay? According to falsification, the theory that predicts the maximum, right? Predicts the reality to the maximum extent can be accepted as a scientific theory, okay? So theory testing has been a major kind of objective of economists over a period of time. But now, of late, we collect a lot of data, huge quantity of data from the field through RCTs, the randomized control trial, and so on and so forth. Even without randomized control trial, we go to the field, collect huge amount of data, bring the data, use that data through SPSS, data, R program, Python, whatever it may be. There are so many kind of statistical packages that are available, and we get the results. And there are people who are able to get the results that they like actually. Let me just tell you one example. I was working in a different institution, and the director, who was an economist, I don't want to name the institution and the directors. So he wanted his assistant, another assistant professor, to generate results from some secondary rate. Okay. So the assistant professor generated these results by using SPSS, took them to the director. Director looked at it and he asked the assistant what these results mean, right? How do we interpret the results? So the assistant explained to him. So this result suggests that this is the kind of pattern that is emerging from the fiscal policies. So the director didn't like the results. Okay, he said, "I don't want this kind of results." Okay, then the assistant took the results back, rerun the entire analysis, and then brought the completely opposite results. And now the director likes the results. And then later on, he published a paper by using those results. So this is completely a kind of mockery. Okay, so the statistical tools should not be misused actually, in order to kind of suppress the truth. Here we see all researchers are supposed to come out with truth. Okay, our entire research will have to come out with the truth. But now there is, the statistical package is being misused to suppress the truth. Okay. So this should not be the practice. Please keep this in mind. So truth is always true. If the statistical package gives you some result which goes against your hypothesis, that is well and good actually. your null hypothesis is rejected and you are developing alternative hypothesis. That means that you are doing falsification in a very scientific manner actually, right? You get some result which goes against the hypothesis and then you say that this hypothesis is not valid and therefore I am going to develop alternative hypothesis, okay? So that is how we have to do research. And therefore, friends, statistical packages are just tools. They are servants. Okay? And who is your master? It is the theory. If you are a student of economics, then it is economic theory, which should guide you to make use of the servant properly. Okay? Whenever you call the servant for doing some work, servant will have to do the work. Okay? But you cannot make the servant as master, and then you should not believe in whatever the kind of result that the statistical packages are giving. Because in any statistical package, if you put some input, you will get some output, depending on the comment that you give. Okay, please keep this in mind. So research has to be scientific, and it should reveal the truth, and all of us should work for finding out the truth actually. The second point that I would like to, and therefore you should read the theories, economic theories, underlying economic theories properly, and it is the theory that should guide your entire research and not the statistical package. Second thing is, we need to understand the diversity in each social science discipline. I'm an economist. I know what kind of the diversity we have in economics. For example, as I said, classical economists were developing theories actually, right? So logic, imagination, all those kinds of things. But when the neoclassical economists started doing economics, they brought a lot of empirical kind of assessment of the theories actually, empirical validated theories actually. Okay, so they started doing a lot of empirical work. Okay, measurement has been the major focus of neoclassical economics. Okay, but then the economics developed in a very kind of diversified subject. We have new institutional economics, which does not use mathematics, statistics, econometrics. Only very limited amount of empirical analysis is being done in new institutional economics, for example. In behavioral economics, we don't do any econometric work, regression analysis, nothing, but only how the human beings behave and how whether the human beings are using unbounded rationality or bounded rationality in order to make decisions. Okay, so basically the theory, the logic, the imagination, all of them play a major role in some of the sub-disciplines in economics, like behavioral economics, new institutional economics, and so on and so forth. So we should understand the diversity available in each discipline. We should not get carried away by the fact that notion that economics is just econometrics and SPSS. No, economics is not econometrics and SPSS. Economics is a vast subject, and the regression, econometrics, the statistics that we do forms only a very meager part of the entire discipline. Okay, so please keep that in mind while doing econometrics and SPSS kind of thing. And the third point that I would like to make here is, I have one more point. The third point is the data that we collect should always be valid and reliable. Okay, so the validity, reliability do matter because the data that we use for doing statistical analysis will have to give us the truth, will have to give us the significant kind of error-free results. But when we go to the field, for example, collecting the primary data, what we find is that there are a lot of biases and errors. For example, in 1989, Mitchell and Carson, they published a book using surveys for valuing public goods. It is about how to estimate the economic values of environmental goods and services. Okay, there they have listed out around 18 different biases and errors that would affect the validity and reliability of the data that we collect. For example, the interviewer bias, the strategic bias, the information bias, the scope effect, the sequencing effect. Many different biases and errors are affecting our results, and therefore we have to critically scrutinize the kind of data that we collect. Otherwise, the results, as I said, whatever the kind of input that you put in SPSS, you will get the output. But the output will have to be reliable and valid. And therefore, we need to deal with sampling errors, the errors that would occur because of the sampling technique that we use in the field, and non-sampling error, like the errors that occur because of interviewer bias, the amenity misspecification bias, strategic bias, sequential bias, everything. Okay, so you should be familiar with all those kinds of things before doing analysis in SPSS. You should first validate whether the data that I have collected is valid and reliable, so that I can get proper results. And when you find, for example, when you find the R square value in regression to be very less, okay, immediately people are panicked. The researchers, students are panicked. Oh, my R square value is very less, and therefore the my results will be kind of questioned by the external examiner, and therefore let me do something in order to increase my R square value. Don't do that. If your R square value is very less, that may be due to many problems, and you list out all the possible problems. For example, you can always say that my R square value is very less. That is because when I collected the data, people were strategically behaving, and therefore they might have understated some data related to income, and they might have overstated some data related to expenditure. You write it. This is research. Rather than trying to manipulate data in order to get higher level of R square value, you should carefully scrutinize the data and then use the data. Valid and reliable data. And then if your results are behaving in a particular manner, then you should try to interpret why the results are behaving in a particular manner, rather than trying to manipulate data, for getting the kind of results that you want to get. Okay, please don't do that, like what my director in another institute did. Okay. Then the final thing, I always tell my students that you should spend a lot of time while you are a research scholar. Spend a lot of time in two things, namely reading and writing. Okay. Initially, you should adopt three principles in your research. Principle number one is read. Principle number two is read. The principle number three is read. Okay, please keep this in mind. If you are in your early stage of doing PhD, then you should keep this in mind. Read, read, read. Maybe when you progress after 2 years, after 3 years, then you should think about a slightly changed principle, namely read, write, and write. Okay. So reading and writing, these are the two major activities that will have to be carried out by the research scholars. Don't worry about it. You may be worried about various other things, like whether I will get a job, all those things. If you do the work properly, sincerely, and if you read the literature properly, if you write properly, then all other things will automatically come to us. Okay. So with these kinds of few words, let me just stop here, and I wish you all the best. I would like to thank Mr. Vikash once again, as well as his team, for this wonderful wonderfully organizing the workshop, as well as bringing good experts to speak about various topics. Thank you so much. All the best.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. So, I know that sir is a very learned person in the field of the economics and on the field of the research. So, it is not a tradition and customs of the valedictory session. But if any participants have any kinds of the query and questions, so about the publication, as we all know that sir is a editor of the one Sage Journal Review and Development Change. So if anyone want to ask any kinds
Sure.
of question regarding publication, regarding the other kinds of the field of the research, so you can ask directly to sir. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, you are most welcome to ask any question in research methodology publications.
Hello, sir. A very good afternoon. This is Ashwini Kumar,
Yes.
and
Please. Please go ahead. Kumar. What happened?
Ashwini ji?
You are muted, Ashwini.
I think network
yes,
issue.
Okay.
yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, now, yes.
And I'm almost as I told you, I'm economics student, economics PhD student, and I'm at the last stage of PhD. I'm about to submit, but the thing is, due to some knowledge, I mean the lack of knowledge, I could not consider the uh, the ratio kind of question, and the data that I have is not in ratio or scale. But sometimes I heard that this is the age of like regression, correlation, and multi-stage regression. The problem is that मेरे पास that I'm only able to use non-parametric statistics or use.
Okay.
So is
What
it
is wrong
enough
with
in
that?
my thesis, or should I again do all the things?
Okay. There are two ways in which you can handle this problem. For example, in certain thesis, even though we have collected a huge amount of data for analysis, we need not have to do sophisticated econometric kind of analysis. For example, you need not have to do regression, or you need not have to do logit, probit, multinomial logit, nested logit. They're all sophisticated things, but there are people who have the passion to do all these kinds of things. But simple tables. For example, some of my contacts, very learned people, they told me even with simple tables, you can express your ideas very clearly. Okay, cross tabulation. That is what my supervisor said. Cross tabulation. Even before doing the correlation, regression, etc., if at all you want to do, you have to do lot of cross tabulation. For example, willingness to pay value. Okay, whether the men are willing to pay more compared to women. Okay, right? So this can be a small table, and you can say that look, on an average, the men are willing to pay less than the women because women are more concerned about the water that should be kind of augmented at the household level, right? So like this, you can create many tables as such and then interpret. Even simple techniques like you can do average, standard deviation, median values, like this. Simple graphs, diagrams. Since you are a student of economics, you need not have to do regression analysis. Okay, you can do these simple things and then say whatever you want to say, right? The second strategy is that even if you are interested in still doing the regression analysis, there are many experts whom you can approach, and they will definitely help you to do the regression analysis. You should not simply put it in SPSS, and then you should not run your regression on the basis of limited knowledge that, as you said, you have. So you can always seek the help of the experts in the field of econometrics, regression, discuss with them, this is my research issue, this is the data I have collected, and this is how the data looks like, therefore, what kind of the regression analysis I can. So you can always, because research is a kind of output that comes from collective action. The researcher alone cannot claim the research to be his own or her own output. Okay, so we have to interact with a lot of people, discuss with them, get their advice, incorporate these advices in the thesis, and then come out with a good thesis. It is always a collective effort. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else?
Okay. Thank you, sir, for addressing the questions. So, if next anyone have any kinds of the doubts, any questions? If anyone have any questions, you can ask directly to sir about the publication, research paper writing, any kinds. So, I think Subhangi Amle want to ask something. Subhangi, can you listen us?
Or you can type your question in the chat box. Which
Yes.
message? Please type your question.
You can also write your question in the chat box.
Yeah.
Okay, we are waiting.
So, okay, if there are no questions, then I think that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One minute, please.
So we are writing in the chat box.
Okay. Yeah, please.
No, not any question in the chat box.
Somebody is writing, it seems.
Okay.
Only thank you, sir, comes.
Oh, yes. So.
Okay.
Yes. Anyone?
I have a query: how to decide by looking at the data whether to use chi-square test or t-test. See, the point is, don't decide about the tool first and then do the analysis next. First, think about what kind of the analysis that you have to do. What is the research issue that you are going to address, or what is the issue that you are going to address through the data that you have collected or deal with, right? So first decide about what is that I want to find out theoretically. What is the theoretical issue that I am trying to find out? Depending on that, you have to use either chi-square test or t-test or whatever the test you want to do. Whether to use regression or correlation, whatever it may be, you have to first decide what is that I want to come out with from the data. What is that I want to find out? Okay, so that will determine what kind of analysis or statistical tool that you have to use. Okay, is there any rule to adapt or adopt questionnaire? So basically, Shahifa, did I answer your question? So decide about the research issue first.
So can you give an example where by looking the data, like after collection, it's on descriptive analysis only. So I want to know when to use t-test,
No. What is that you want to find out from the data?
Can you give me an example?
No. So you should have given me an example. But anyway, I was telling.
Okay, let me ask you, sir. Suppose I want to know the attitude of students those who have passed, not attitude, those who have passed the online courses, like many of them are now doing online courses, right? So I want to know, suppose I want to know their attitude, or just their feelings, the how they felt and what they want to suggest, right? So in that test, if I want to know whether there is any difference between the attitude of the students who are boys or girls, or any parameter, like those who have done masters from online courses, or graduation from online courses, if you want to see the difference between the what test to use, is type के questions में तो I got stuck somewhere.
So have you read the earlier paper which has used a similar kind of research issue, objective, data?
No, I just gave an example.
No, but see, the point is, the best way to find out answer for these kinds of questions is to read the literature properly, right? The kind of issue that you have explained, right? That issue might have been already studied by some other researchers, okay? So you have to look at those papers and then find out what kind of the test they have used. The second strategy is to approach a statistician or an econometrician and then ask that expert about what kind of the statistical test that you have to use. I don't have any ready-made kind of answer because I have to look at your data and then have a detailed kind of discussion with you in order to find out which statistical test would be useful for deriving which kind of answer. Okay, so always don't rush to use chi-square t-test like that. First look at the data, read the data, discuss with others, and then finally decide about the tests, statistical tools that you have to use. Okay, that is how it should go. I can give you some ready-made answer, but if the results are not conducive or not useful for interpreting the results in a particular manner, then my suggestion would go waste. Okay. Okay. Then Miss Poppy has.
I think funny question has in the chat box. After the Subhangi, we will take. Yes, Subhangi, please.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Namaste, sir. I'm Shubhangi Amble from Maharashtra. Sir, I have been working on supply chain management as I'm a commerce student. Sir, I want to ask if you want to check association between two variables, then can we apply only chi-square test?
No, then you have correlation also. As Sahifa said, there is a t-test. Okay, so first look at the data again. Don't rush for selecting the tools actually. Okay, so what? For example, in the case of t-test, let me tell you, you have got 50 male students and 50 female students. Okay, and you want to check their average marks scored in the 10th standard. Okay, so you have male students average marks for each one of the students, female students average marks for each one of the students, and there you want to compare whether the girls have performed better than boys or not. Okay, so in this case you have to use paired t sample test. Okay, paired t sample test, because you have 50-50. Suppose you have 50 students, boy students, and only 40 students, girl students. Okay, in this case you can't use paired t sample test, but you have to use man white t test. Okay, so do you understand what I'm trying to say? Depending on the data, depending on the kind of issue that you want to analyze, you have to select the statistical test. Of course, you have plenty of statistical tools. If you take a book on statistics, for example, S.P. Gupta has published a voluminous book on statistics, and there are umpteen number of statistical tools that you can use for data actually. Okay, but you have to decide what you are going to come out from that particular data, and accordingly a suitable statistical tool will have to be determined. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. It means I just wanted to check relationship or impact of supply chain management on supply cost. Then which test should be applied? I think.
Yeah. So I don't want to give you ready-made answer, but you
No,
have
sir.
to.
No, sir. Just
Yeah.
chi-square test will be appropriate to that.
You have to find out. You have to find out. You
Okay,
just
sir.
look
Okay, sir.
at the
I'll
previous
definitely, sir.
papers, and you look at statistical books, and there are many YouTube videos that are available in the YouTube explaining various statistical tools. So you have lot of information nowadays, for doing research actually. Okay, so you
Okay.
just make an effort rather than
Okay, sir. Okay,
depending
sir.
on kind of
Okay, sir.
ready-made answers. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so
Good.
much,
All
sir.
the best. Yeah. Okay, now Miss Poppy has asked, is there any rule to adapt questionnaire? See, questionnaire is very important because questionnaire is the tool by which you are going to collect data. Okay, so therefore you have to develop your questionnaire based on your research issue objectives, yeah, all those kinds of things, and then you have to do pre-testing of the questionnaire with the 5-6 households initially, and then after pre-testing you will be revising the questionnaire based on the answers that you get from the households, small number of households. If it is if your survey is household survey or individual survey, then you will be doing it with some individuals, and then after pre-testing you will go to the uh, I mean you will do the pilot study among 20-25 households. Okay, from which you can do a small analysis actually. Okay, so the small analysis will tell you whether you are missing important variables in your questionnaire, or you have unnecessarily added your questionnaire, some questions in your question, all those kinds of things. Okay, then pilot study will also make you to revise the questionnaire once again, and then you will go for the final survey. So there is a long process in which the questionnaire will be developed, pre-tested, piloted, and then finally used in the among the households or individuals for final survey. It's a very scientific method actually. So therefore, the questionnaire is very important, and every part of the questionnaire will have to be scientifically developed. Okay, you have to keep testing with your friends, testing with some households, testing with some individuals, testing with some knowledgeable people. All those kinds of things you have to do before going to the final survey. Actually, okay, yeah, it's very important.
Okay, thank you, sir. One question, Love Kumar. Yes.
Mm,
And before the addressing this question, I request
Based
to
upon my objective,
uh, yes, sir. Before addressing this question, I want to request to the Hindi medium participants. You can ask your question in Hindi, and then we will be try to translate your question in English. Shall
yeah,
will be give the answer. Okay. Yes,
yeah.
sir. Please give this answer, sir. Yes.
It is Kumar. Based upon my objective, I have collected 3 sets of data via questionnaires from different respondents. My total sample size is 300. Is it possible to apply SPSS to 100 responses for one set of data? I am a little confused about how to analyze data of 3 different sets. See again, whether you have to combine all the 3 sets or you have to analyze it separately depends on what is your objective. What is the objective? Okay. So first you have to be clear about your objective. Then decide about combining or doing the analysis separately. Okay. Or you can seek the help of some of the statistical experts available in your institute or university or college, whatever it may be. They can easily help you, right? Okay, Kumar. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Neha has asked of course, Neha has requested Vikas to conduct one more week workshop on research methodology. Yeah, then Mr. Vikas will have to decide about it. Yeah. I'm
Yes.
not the person to decide. Okay, good. Yeah, very good interaction I have. See, many of you, I'll tell you, many of these questions, you want to use some statistical analysis, but you are confused on which statistical tool you have to use. It's a very simple one. You read the literature. There are many different purposes. For example, reading the literature, new vocabularies, okay, your writing skills. As I said, reading, writing is somewhat easier than writing. Okay, writing is very difficult, and therefore we try to postpone everything to a future date because we don't want to take pain now.
Yes, sir.
The
Yes, sir.
human mind will always
Yes, sir.
try to postpone the pain to the future date and
Yes, sir.
enjoy the benefit right now. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
what is enjoyment? You can look at some WhatsApp message, or you can look at some Facebook message. You can, just, like this, the mind will operate actually, but you
Yes.
have to control your mind.
Yes,
You
sir.
have to tell the mind that, look, I have to read the literature today in order to understand what kind of the methodology my previous researchers have used, what kind of the tools they have used, how did they collect data, what kind of the data they have collected, how did they analyze the data, what is their interpretation, what is the conclusion, what is the policy suggestion. Like this, you have to, kind of look for information for your own research. So if
Yes.
anybody who has done the literature review properly, who has read the literature thoroughly, previous literature, then he or she will not have any problem with methodology, with the data collection, with the analysis, with the analytical view. Okay, so please read, please discuss with others. That will always give you a lot of confidence, knowledge to deal with some of these very simple issues like what kind of the statistical tool I use, right?
Okay. Thank you so much, sir,
Thank you.
uh, for giving us a wonderful valedictory address. And again, I want to share this information. Sir is a managing editor of the Review, Development and Change, but this is a very reputed journal. This is a very so. If any researcher want to publish your their paper in the reputed journal, in the renowned journal, so you can also try to submit your paper to the review, development and change. And sir
Yes.
has always given the positive response to the research scholars, and always giving the opportunity for learning to the young scholars. And Sarija also the chair professor of the Reserve Bank of India. So if anyone are working on the policy making on the effect of economics on the various kinds of the situation, so you without hesitation you can contact to honorable L Venkatachalam sir. And sir, really in previous 3 4 months, sir, you are very close to my heart, sir. When I have always to call to you for taking the guidance regarding the research paper, regarding the thesis, regarding the book review. So, sir, you have always given me a positive response. So, sir, thank you so much for this, and I heartfelt thanks to you to accept my request, and you have given the
Thank you.
valedictory session, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. All
Okay,
the
sir.
best.
Okay, sir.
Read, read, and read. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.